Hey, and welcome to this episode of the Discourse Collective. This episode, we're going to be tackling the thorny issue of free speech. You know, that thing that lets me say things like, this episode's going to be f***ing great. Free speech, it is without a doubt a double-edged sword. It gives equal voice to those that want to heal and to those that want to create division. With free speech, it allows somebody to say that they think I'm not very good at Fortnite. It also allows the 13-year-old who just beat me to say he's going to have sex with my mum. It's not a modern invention. It emerged from the Roman Republic of the 6th or 5th century BC, but the very modern invention of the internet has propelled it to the forefront of our consciousness. Along with extreme views, political and religious, the boundaries of free speech are being tested about how people expound their views on the internet. Free speech is there to protect your right to say what you think without fear of censure, punishment, or reprisal. It applies equally, whatever medium is used to express those ideas and opinions. In practical terms, this means free speech must be protected, even for views that are disagreeable, unpalatable, or partly extreme in nature. There is a line, and the real bone of contention that most people have with free speech is exactly where that line is. Many of the most testing law cases revolving around free speech have looked to establish where free speech starts and where it ends. Now, to talk about this issue, I do need to mention some pretty tasteless beliefs. Where I do mention such things, I do want to make sure that it's not my beliefs. Let's talk about the scope of free speech. The biggest red line for free speech is intent. It was Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr.'s opinion in the United States Supreme Court case, Shenick versus the People, that free speech would not protect a man falsely shouting fire in a theatre and causing panic. Now that's a very well-known example. Free speech does not allow you freedom to break the law, endanger people, or defame or deliberately incense others. Most countries that have free speech draw the line of free speech at the level of intent. In the UK, for example, the restrictions of free speech are defined as where the interests of national security, territorial integrity, or public safety for the prevention of disorder of crime, the protection of health or morals, for the protection of the reputational rights of others, for preventing the disclosure of information received in confidence, or the maintaining of the authority and impartiality of the judiciary. Well, that's left me a little confused. It sounds like nearly anything could be excluded when framed in the right or wrong light. Here we arrive at the crux of the issue. Free speech must be protected, even for views you detest. One person's free speech is another person's dangerous diatribe. If governments creep too close to a catch-all that lets them arrest anyone for anything they like, offences against morality, free speech is eroded. How do we design a law then for free speech? And it must be enshrined in law to work, that lets one person say, I think only white ethnic people should live in the UK and the border should be closed to immigration, while stopping another person using directly racist language. Now, I want to be clear again, I don't hold that view, I'm using it as an example. Why is free speech starting to break down? Traditionally, those that espoused views or ideas that were contentious or against common opinion were simply ignored or jeered at or made fun of. Just as free speech protects what you want to say, so it must apply to those whose ideas you detest. That's the dual-edged nature of free speech. You need to expect to hear things you don't want to, but defend the rights of those people to say it. That's the freedom of expression. If the conservative fundamental Christians want the right to espouse their anti-abortion, anti-LGBT view, they must respect the rights of the progressive left to talk about another, more inclusive way forward. And here perhaps is where it really starts to go a bit wrong. The sheer volume of information on the internet means people are less and less accountable for the ideas and opinions they put forward. Take, for example, the flat earthers or QAnon. Those that express these views in seriousness have their ideas amplified and given, however small, credibility on mainstream media. We know the earth is flat. There is... We know the earth is round. There is no debate needed. Anyone who says otherwise needs to be pointed at and laughed at. Anywhere they go, they need to be heckled and taunted for having such patently stupid beliefs. In the supermarket, the high street, their workplace, people just need to point and laugh. You can have free speech, and yes, you can have your own opinion, but it won't be consequence-free. Recently, the debate on free speech has begun to take a new insidious form. Those with more unsupportable viewpoints have begun to demand freedom from consequence. Well-known top-rate thinker Sarah Palin said she felt attacked by the mainstream media for her 2008 anti-Obama vice presidential run. The mainstream media was rightly critical of her opinions because they were dumb, poorly constructed and rooted in falsehoods. Additionally, the First Amendment of the US Constitution actually guarantees free speech for the press, so she had that precisely backwards. She wanted free speech without the consequence. Those that feel free speech is being eroded frequently make arguments from poorly understood or historically inaccurate positions. Those who felt the US president being banned from Twitter was unfair failed to grasp that this man could call a press conference that would be covered globally any time he wanted. Yet a social media ban was somehow silencing him. The argument becomes more intractable when applied to comedy. Again, subjectivity rules. One person's funny joke is another person's highly offensive diatribe. Many comedians have railed against some attempts to curtail the right of comedy performers. 60s comedian Lenny Bruce was hounded by the law for the swear words that he used in his stand-up comedy and some of the material. Anyone who's been to a Frankie Boyle or George Carlin concert will know that some of their material goes pretty close to the bone. Some argue too close to the bone. Consider this. If someone goes to an open mic comedy night and simply spends 10 minutes on the mic doing a racist or homophobic rant, on top of being booed off stage, they might also get arrested. If a comedian tells jokes where people of colour or gays form part of the punchline, they're protected by free speech. The difference is our old friend intent. Was there a genuine attempt to be funny? If so, it's free speech. If not, it's hate speech. Why free speech is important. The rights and wrongs aside, free speech is important. Just look at societies that don't have such protections. Belarus, China, Eritrea, Kazakhstan, North Korea, Saudi Arabia. These are countries who may well have plenty of positives, but human rights is not among them. A government that allows its people to openly show dissent or dissatisfaction is a government that takes the wishes of its people at least partly seriously. The right to protest and the right to free speech are among the first that are removed by totalitarian regimes or dictatorships. Free speech allows everyone to have their say. Feeling you are being listened to and being taken seriously is important, and without this protection in law, it is much easier to govern with an iron fist. Free speech also allows minorities to have a voice by putting all people on an equal footing. Race, sexuality, gender can all be discussed openly, with all sides being able to put their point of view across. Lack of free speech makes it much easier to silence those voices. Put together, a society without free speech is unlikely to be progressive or fair. Those two words matter to me. I want the society I live in to be both. That's why I'm a supporter of free speech, even when I disagree with it. Thanks for watching this episode of the Discourse Collective. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do you think that free speech is under attack? Do you think that the line of what constitutes free speech is too lenient or too lax? Do let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you've got to say. If you've had a good time watching this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I'll see you next time on the Discourse Collective.